The Galactic Council Hall had seen countless wars, treaties, and alliances over thousands of years, but it had never felt this strange, heavy silence. Every representative from every star empire sat in their floating seats, whispering nervously. A cold blue light pulsed in the center of the chamber where humanity's seat once stood, glowing like an empty heartbeat. For generations, humanity had been one of the strongest members of the Council. Their fleets protected the weak, their scientists solved impossible problems, and their diplomats kept old enemies from starting new wars. Humans were known for stepping into danger first and complaining last. But today, their chair was empty. Not quiet. Empty. The moment the doors opened, the Council felt something had changed. Ambassador Rilon of the Vree was the first to speak. He floated forward nervously, his insect-like wings shaking. "Where are the humans?" he asked, scanning the room. No one answered. A soft hum echoed through the chamber as a hologram activated. It showed a short message from the human ambassador. There was no face, no emotion, only words. Effective immediately, humanity withdraws from all Galactic Council operations. We will not participate in discussions, wars, or shared defense. The reasons are clear and will not be repeated. The message ended there. The hall exploded into noise. Some shouted in anger, others in confusion. A few laughed, thinking it was a human joke. The Council had always used humans as a shield. Without that shield, every empire suddenly felt exposed. Ambassador Rowe of the Arkle Empire slammed his fist on the table. Humans cannot leave. They are part of our defense structure. But the truth was simple, they already had. Across the galaxy, human outposts shut down. Patrol fleets disappeared from shared borders. Human trade ships turned around and returned home without explanation. Space stations that once welcomed millions of travelers went dark. Humanity had vanished from the galaxy in a single day. At first, everyone thought they were bluffing. The Council whispered theories. Humans want attention. Humans want more power. Humans are playing political games again. But within hours, reports came from every corner of space. Pirates attacked trade routes that humans used to patrol. Refugees poured from border planets screaming about raids. Empires that once followed the Council's rules began to argue and fight. The fragile peace that humanity had quietly created for centuries began to shake like glass. Council leader Thoreau stood up slowly. His skin glowed like molten metal, but today it seemed dimmer. "Do you not understand?" he whispered. "Without humanity, the balance breaks." But not everyone believed it. Ambassador Yil, a tall serpent-like being, hissed softly. "Humans always think they are special. The galaxy will continue without them." Moments later, a panicked messenger rushed in, eyes wide with fear. "Council leaders. A border system has fallen. No defense, no human fleet arrived. The attackers took everything." The room froze. For the first time, the Council understood the truth. Humanity had never demanded gratitude. They had never asked for payment. They had simply done the hard work because someone had to. And now they were gone. The Council sent a coded request to speak with a human leader. No response. They sent a distress signal to a nearby human fleet. The signal was ignored. They even sent a diplomatic ship to Earth sector. The ship returned with a single message. "Do not enter human space." The Council's fear grew deeper. What could force an entire species to walk away? What had pushed humans, famous for loyalty and stubbornness, to finally stop helping the galaxy? Ambassador Rilon sat down slowly, wings silent for the first time all day. "We took them for granted," he whispered. "We all did." No one argued. No one spoke. Every leader in the hall realized the same truth: humanity's quiet strength had protected them more than they ever admitted. Humans fixed problems before others even saw them. Humans stood between wars and peace. Humans held the galaxy together without expecting thanks. And now, the galaxy had to stand alone. Outside the massive council windows, stars drifted silently. Somewhere out there, humanity was watching. Waiting. But they were no longer part of the council. No longer the galaxy's shield. No longer the quiet guardians. They had walked away. And the real fallout had only just begun. The fallout began faster than any member of the Galactic Council expected. Only 3 days had passed since humanity walked away, and already the galaxy felt heavier, darker, and strangely unstable. The council hall, once full of pride and confidence, now looked like a room filled with frightened children pretending to be leaders. Ambassador Rowe of the Arkle Empire opened the emergency meeting with a voice that trembled more than he wished. We must face the truth. Without humanity's presence, the galaxy is shaking apart. Half the room agreed. Half refused to accept it. Ambassador Yill, the serpent-like leader who once mocked human strength, flicked her tail sharply. You exaggerate. It has only been 3 days. The galaxy cannot collapse this quickly. But a messenger drone entered before she finished the sentence. The machine projected a hologram of a terrified captain from the frontier regions. His voice cracked. Council members, the Marauder clans have returned. They are raiding entire systems. They say they waited for the day humans left. The hall filled with gasps. For hundreds of years, the Marauders stayed silent, hiding in the dark of uncharted space. Everyone assumed they feared the Council. They did not. They feared humanity. Humans defeated them long ago and warned them never to rise again. Now, with the humans gone, the Marauders returned like hungry wolves. Ambassador Rilon spread his trembling wings. We must send our fleets to stop them. Council leader Thoreau sighed deeply. We already tried. They are stronger than before, and our fleets are weaker than we believed. Silence spread again, heavy and sharp. Everyone knew the truth but none dared to say it aloud. Most of the galaxy's strength had depended on humanity. Humans were the frontline protectors. Humans trained half the galaxy's soldiers. Humans kept the worst threats from ever reaching the Council's attention. Without them, the galaxy was exposed. More reports appeared one after another, each worse than the last. A mining world burned. A trade route vanished. A peaceful moon fell under pirate control. Entire colonies abandoned by local governments begged for help. The Council could not keep up. They were drowning in chaos. Ambassador Yill slowly realized her mistake. Her voice softened for the first time in centuries. Why did we never understand how much humans were doing? Ambassador Rowe answered bitterly. Because humans never boasted. They acted. They solved problems. They protected us. And we believed they did it because they wanted to. We never noticed how tired they were. The Council reviewed the last message humanity ever sent. No anger. No threats. No demands. Just a simple line. We will not repeat our reasons. The line now felt like a warning, or a wound. Suddenly, the room lights flickered as an emergency signal burst through the chamber, one with the highest priority code. Even Council leader Thoreau looked shocked. A shadowy hologram formed, a scout ship captain from the farthest edge of known space. His face was pale. His voice shook. Something is moving in the dark sectors. Something we have not seen for thousands of years. The entire room leaned forward. Describe it, Thoreau commanded. The captain swallowed hard. We saw massive structures. Old machines waking up. We do not know who built them, but they are powerful. Too powerful. Our scanners broke when we tried reading them. Everyone felt a chill. Ambassador Rilon whispered, machines from the ancient wars, the ones humanity fought alone. No one answered. But the fear on their faces said yes. The captain continued, the hologram flickering with stress. We contacted the human observation stations. They did not reply. But, we detected their signatures. They are watching the same region, silently. A heavy silence filled the chamber. Humans knew. They always knew. They had been monitoring the dark sectors long before the council understood the danger. Ambassador Yale finally spoke what everyone feared. Humanity walked away, because they knew this threat was coming. They left us to face the consequences of our own arrogance. The council realized humanity did not abandon the galaxy. Humanity simply stepped back to let others see their own weakness. Now the galaxy had two enemies. The returning marauders. And something ancient rising from the darkness. Two threats humanity could have stopped with ease. But the council had pushed them too far. Now they had to face everything alone. Council leader Theros took a deep breath. We must swallow our pride. We must send a message to Earth, and ask for their help. But no one knew if humanity would even listen. The council hall felt colder than before. Lights dimmed as another emergency meeting began. Even the floating chairs hovered lower, as if the weight of fear pulled them down. Every representative looked tired. Some had not slept since humanity left. Others had stopped pretending they were brave. Council leader Theros stood at the center, his metallic skin flickering like a damaged star. Reports from the dark sectors continue, he said in a soft but heavy voice. Something ancient is rising. Something even humanity feared. A wave of panic spread through the room. Ambassador Rilan's wings trembled. How can humans fear anything? They defeated entire empires, explored the void, fought enemies we never even saw. Ambassador Yale slowly lowered her head. If humans feared this, then what chance do we have? Before anyone could answer, another hologram appeared, this time from a science vessel stationed near the edge of the galaxy. The scientist, a gentle creature with glowing eyes, looked terrified. Council members, the structures we detected are not ships. They are living machines. They move like creatures. They grow. They consume energy from dying stars. We believe they were part of the ancient war, the war humans never spoke about. A sharp silence cut through the hall. Everyone knew small pieces of human history. But their oldest war, known only as the Silent Century, had always been hidden. Humans refused to talk about it. Their records were sealed. Even their allies were kept out. Ambassador Rowe leaned forward. Show us the scans. The hologram shifted. A massive shape appeared, cold, metallic, alive. It floated near a dying red star, absorbing its energy like a predator drinking blood. Its surface was covered in shifting plates, glowing veins, and strange symbols older than any known alphabet. It looked like something that should not exist. The scientist's voice shook. We tried sending a probe to study it. The object destroyed it instantly. No warning. No communication. Just, erased. Ambassador Rilan felt his wings freeze. Does it threaten us? The scientist nodded slowly. We observed its direction, and all signs show it is moving toward the core worlds. Fear turned into dread. Ambassador Yale whispered, humans tried to warn us, did they not? All those years they monitored the dark sectors. All those patrols. Their secret stations. Their restricted zones. Council leader Theros closed his eyes. Yes. Humans did not guard that region for fun. They guarded it because they were hiding something dangerous from us. Something they defeated once, but feared would return. The idea of humanity being afraid shattered the Council's remaining pride. Then another message arrived, this one from a border colony near human space. A captain appeared on the hologram, explosions echoing behind him. His uniform was torn, his voice was desperate. Council. We are under attack from unknown forces. They came from the same region as the ancient machines. Our shields cannot hold. A blast of light cut the message. The hologram faded. Ambassador Rilon covered his face with shaking hands. This is only the beginning. But the council still did not understand the full truth, not until the next report arrived. A scout ship from the Kalari Empire had discovered a massive human fortress hidden deep in their own territory. It was not an attack base. It was not a weapon. It was an observatory, a silent station built to warn humanity if the ancient machines ever returned. Ambassador Yil whispered, "They prepared for this day long ago." Ambassador Ro clenched his fists. Then why did they leave? Why now, when the galaxy needs them most? The Ros answered softly, "Because we never listened. Every request they made, we rejected. Every warning, we ignored. Every sacrifice, we dismissed. Humanity did not leave because they were tired of the galaxy. They left because the galaxy was tired of them." The room fell into hopeless quiet. The galaxy was facing a danger it barely understood. A danger humanity had fought once in the shadows. A danger that was coming again, stronger, hungrier, and older than any star empire. And the only species that truly knew how to stop it had walked away. Council leader Theros finally spoke the words everyone feared. "If humanity does not return, we will not survive." The decision was clear. The council would send a delegation to Earth. They would swallow their pride. They would beg for help. But no one knew if humanity would even answer the door. The journey to human space began under heavy silence. Every leader on the council transport knew the truth. If humanity refused them, the galaxy would fall. The ship, a large diplomatic cruiser, moved through the stars like a lonely shadow. Even the engines felt quiet, as if afraid to disturb the peace around human territory. The closer they came, the more unusual things became. Human borders were not like others. There were no patrol ships flying openly. No warning beacons. No broadcasted messages. Just silent space, too silent. Ambassador Rilon looked out the large window and whispered, "Are we sure humans live here? It feels empty." Council leader Theros shook his head. "No. Humans are here. They are simply watching." Suddenly, lights flashed on the radar. Not a ship. A structure. A massive wall of metal and energy appeared ahead, stretching across half a star system. A human megastructure. It glowed with faint blue lines, pulsing like a heartbeat. No weapons pointed at them, yet every ambassador felt as if they were being scanned, measured, judged. Ambassador Yil shivered. "This is not a defense wall, this is a message." Yes. The message was clear. Do not enter unless you are welcome. The cruiser slowly passed through a transparent corridor that opened within the wall. No human voice guided them, but the path was undeniable. Inside human territory, everything felt different. Orderly. Silent. Perfect. Massive stations floated near stars. Gigantic ships hung motionless like sleeping titans. Observation arrays scanned distant corners of the galaxy with quiet precision. Ambassador Ro's voice cracked. They were preparing for war. A war we never believed in. The cruiser finally reached the core of human space, a planet surrounded by shimmering rings of defense satellites. Earth was below them, glowing in soft blues and greens. A calm voice finally spoke through their radio. "Galactic Council transport. State your purpose." The ambassadors looked at one another with dread. No anger. No warmth. Just simple human discipline. Council leader Theros stepped forward. "We seek audience with the human high command. The galaxy faces a great threat. We request assistance." The silence that followed felt long enough to split a star. Finally, the voice replied. Permission granted. Land at Station Prime. The transport descended. The landing bay was enormous. Human soldiers stood in perfect formation, unmoving, silent, armored in dark suits with blue highlights. Their disciplined presence alone made the ambassadors feel small. A tall human woman walked forward. Her uniform carried no weapons, but she radiated authority. "I am Commander Arya Solon. Follow me." No one dared disobey. She led them through wide corridors filled with holographic displays showing galactic maps, threat zones, energy readings, and movement patterns of the ancient machines. Humans were not surprised by the threat. They had been preparing for it for decades. Finally, the ambassadors arrived inside the command hall, a circular room with a massive star map floating above the center. Multiple human commanders stood around it, studying the moving danger. Commander Arya turned to them. "You left your worlds in chaos to come here. Speak." Council leader the Rose stepped forward with heavy shoulders. "We failed to understand humanity's value. We ignored your warnings. We pushed you away. And now, the galaxy faces a danger only you can stop." He lowered his head. "We ask for help. Not as leaders, but as survivors." The room went silent. For the first time since they arrived, the humans exchanged glances. Not anger. Not pride. Something else, something older. Memory. Pain. The ghosts of a war no one else remembered. Commander Arya sighed softly. "You do not understand what you ask." Ambassador Rilan stepped forward carefully. "Then help us understand." Commander Arya pointed at the star map. A massive red shape moved slowly through space like a living storm. This enemy is not a simple machine. It is a devourer of systems. A destroyer of civilizations. We defeated it once, at great cost. Billions of humans died in silence, with no glory. We protected the galaxy, and the galaxy forgot. The ambassadors felt shame burn inside them. Arya continued, her voice steady but heavy. "When you ignored our warnings, when you mocked our patrols, when you refused our requests, we realized something important. You wanted peace but never the weight of keeping it." Then she looked at each ambassador one by one. "But we are still human. And humans do not let the innocent fall. Even when we have been wronged." The ambassadors held their breath. Commander Arya raised her hand toward the star map. "Activate the fleet." The entire room shook as thousands of human ships awakened. Engines roared. Weapons powered up. Megastructures opened like blooming metal flowers. Humanity had returned. Not for the Council. Not for thanks. Not for